and I quote, "Listen, man, there's probably lots of weird theater or softcore porn in here, but I'm not going to be the one to decide how a theater decides to reproduce 50 Shades of Grey live in front of a studio audience."
Welcome to Quips and Crits, another 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast. In today's show, you will hear variant rules such as honor and madness checks, playable NPCs, proficiency dice, and brutal critical fails. Our talented cast of players are Sarah, playing Tribute the Tiefling Paladin.
I don't know what color Tribute blushes because she's already pink, but that was definitely happening when she left Saywood's office.
Katie, playing Talos, the half-orc cleric.
Talos is actually kind of afraid of ghosts. Thank God he's a cleric and can turn undead.
Ransford, playing Breeze, the Tabaxi Bard.
You went for a swim?
Yes.
How'd it go?
That's not the point.
I'm sorry.
Alex, playing Nikos, the Eladrin Warlock.
Brace myself a bit, and I just lean over and I just let it go out. It's just like, ugh. I'm gonna have to do that again sometime.
Emily, playing Cass, the half-elf fighter.
Well, since I have heroism, I feel like I'm not really thinking about beating a child.
And Courtney, playing Adela, the Water Genasi Druid.
Don't quite care, I guess. I'm Adela.
I'm Dan, the DM.
That was just straight rum. I mean, I enjoy it, but I was not prepared for that to just be a mouthful of rum.
Let's get back to the game.
Tribute wants to go shopping.
Cass, where are your seats for the play? Does it have like a seat listed?
It says general floor.
General floor?
Now I know this is a fancy theater.
Yes.
Even though she has seats on the general floor.
Yes.
Will she be expected to look nice?
It depends on the crowd. You'd have to see what the crowd looks like. You would pretty much either show up over or underdressed. You can try and aim in the middle.
Do you want to show up to a play in your armor?
Either that or wear layers, and then you could just strip when you get there.
That would probably be appreciated.
I don't think they would accept armor and weapons in a play, honestly.
Exactly. Then do you have something else to wear?
I don't think I do. I don't remember what I have.
Tribute is mimicking Sarah's movements of kind of like shoulder dancing very suggestively about shopping.
Then, would you like to come with me to find an outfit for the play?
Sure. I don't know.
It might be nice to get out of these jungle clothes.
Yeah. I spent most of my money on the room, so I might have to look in the bargain bins.
At the note of jungle clothes, when Tribute kind of pulls hers up, just body odor. Just like the two of you realize that like you're used to this, but like thinking about it, it's a bad smell.
I would imagine Breeze is the only one who doesn't stink.
That's because he's been cleaning himself.
Also, the place we're staying at does have baths. So if we want to freshen up before...
You did a good job picking that place.
It's more like I just followed what Kaz said. For once. And it worked out. For once.
Take credit for it. Don't give it to Kaz.
Don't let him know he was right.
So the two of you can go shopping. The main fashion here, I don't want to say tight-fitting. It'll look very conservative, but it'll be very high-end. The importance is on looking better than how you feel. So it would be a terrible corset that squeezes your ribs. But that's kind of the standard elven dress, and you can just kind of shop and make it your own.
Sarah, you should cosplay as one of the characters from the book.
No.
But Saywood will be there.
Find like the Victoria's Secret up down here.
Make sure your bra and panties match.
So down in the lower...
to assume I'm wearing them.
So down at the lower reef, coming up through the docks, you're starting to see now that the sun is starting to set. You're just kind of seeing now is actually the biggest chunk of this city. And as you walk around, you might come to realize that a majority of the population lives in this place. All of the buildings are 2 stories, small shacks. You wanted to go to either the Salty Lips Brewery or the Bobbing Court.
You wanted to get a drink?
I think I deserve one after what I went through today.
That's fair.
I said, and I wouldn't mind sharing a drink with you.
Can you give me ice and another Dr. Pepper?
I've had a couple or so drinks in the past. Not too many, because I only recently became an adult.
You know? What's today's date? Do you know?
I do not.
Need to find the date somewhere.
You would know it is the 27th of Flame Roll.
Forget that was an absurd month name.
And you also know that it is 3 days from the Midsummer Festival.
Okay, then I guess we do know what date it is.
She knows I don't.
Can you just, like, sub in your voice? Oh, sure, it's the...
Talos looks over and in a completely different voice from his own comes out. It's 27th of Flame Roll. It's 3 days from the Midsummer Festival.
There you go. That's a lot of words.
Really?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, we definitely have to drink now.
Absolutely.
Let's get fucked. I just turned 17.
Really?
Yeah, like 3 days ago.
Now, in Tabaxi culture, is that adult age?
You know, my parents didn't really teach me that much about Tabaxi culture, seeing as Tabaxi culture kind of spat them out. So they haven't really... They taught me a little bit about what I can't do, but they haven't followed the Tabaxi customs since they left.
No, I understand entirely. I only know of orc culture through readings, not even through experience.
And even then, there aren't many books here that I've seen that talk about what happens in Mastica.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we're in the same boat.
I guess
kind of outsiders of our culture.
I guess we are. To the salty lips.
Alright.
Nerds.
First
You're just mad because I get to go on my date first, bitch.
first round's on me. Ugh, I hate that I can't talk.
We'll see who has a better date by the end of the evening.
Oh,
Man.
definitely
Yeah,
us.
Didn't have to go dress shopping to do it.
As you come to approach the Salty Lips Brewery, this place actually looks a lot nicer. The building itself stands alone. And it's one of the larger buildings kind of in the middle. What you see there isn't really much of a main street as much as it is a very long alley. And the front door, the suggested door, is actually in that alley because it's attached to a building behind it. That building is actually a workshop for ships.
Oh, okay.
Some can be brought in and worked on. Most are actually built and sent out to sea from there. But as you go walking up, you see that there is a figurehead that appears to have been detached from a ship, and it is of a mermaid. The long green tail, this one is not Little Mermaid style, so there are no clamshells over the breast.
It's not the Starbucks symbol either.
It is not the star. Ooh, that'd have been funnier.
I'm gonna sneer at it. It's a little too close to sirens for my taste.
I'm gonna look at it with curiosity.
When you look at it, you see that the head is leaning forward, its eyes are closed, and it is in a kissing motion.
How high is it?
Oh my god.
For you, you'd have to probably get on your tiptoes, but you could probably reach it.
I'm gonna note that.
Talos, you would probably have to lean down a little bit.
Punch her in the face.
Do either of you want to kiss the mermaid before you go?
Oh, hell no.
No, I'll enter the bar.
All right.
I'm not drunk enough for that yet.
You enter the bar and you see that it is, let me tell you, it is the single most semen-filled room you've ever seen. It is just packed wall to wall with semen.
That I've ever seen or he's ever seen?
Well, at least he's ever seen. How much semen have you seen in one room?
I've seen my
Talos?
share of semen.
Yeah, I would imagine probably a lot in the boat.
Yeah.
It is absolutely filled with semen. They're standing around. They're drinking. There's a good mix of people. It's not just exclusive.
Says, why is the floor sticky?
Usually I'm in the mix of semen. Usually right in the midst of the semen.
Breeze starts walking through the semen.
Talos, are you following?
Oh, yeah.
The two of you can make your way to the bar, and you see that the bar is just lined with people, but there looks like there's a single seat.
Guess you'll have to share it.
Talos?
Oh, no, I'm okay. You just had surgery. Sit down.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I could just sit on your lap and be fine.
I don't think that'd be very comfortable. I'm rather bony.
It looks pretty comfy to me.
Now, with the stools, is there enough space between the counter and, like, for, like, two to sit comfortably? Or is it gonna be, like, I sit down and then he sits on me and his knees are, like, in the bar and he's like, I'm having fun.
I'm much smaller than you.
Reasonably, just with your height, if Breeze was to sit on your lap, he would probably sit a little bit taller than you, and his knees would probably reach kind of the turn of the bar, the round of the bar. But it would be kind of like spread eagle.
I mean, if you're alright with it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'm gonna sit.
I'm gonna wait for the bartender.
Alright, so the two of you sit on each other's laps. You look down across the bar, and you see that there is... You're not going to believe this, but I rolled, and there is another half-orc with a tabaxi sitting on his lap. It's the craziest thing.
I'm gonna...
When I get to the bar... Does the bartender come over yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Let me get 4 Poseidon's Kisses.
Yes.
2 for us and 2 for them.
He goes, who?
The other tabaxi.
You look down and you see it's a huge mirror.
I had a feeling.
My order hasn't changed.
You're gonna get cut off before you even start drinking, dude.
He's like, that happens all the time. I don't know why it's there. But it is.
You just got 2 extra drinks out of it.
Yeah, right. All right, 2 Poseidon Kisses. When he walks back over, he puts them down in front of you, and you see this big arm just kind of boom, and separate 2 glasses and pull them towards him.
Whoa. I'm gonna look up at who owns this big arm.
I think we're just gonna call this rent for taking my friend's seat.
You know what? Why don't you give me those 2 drinks back and we'll leave the seat?
No. You've used a seat. You pay for a seat.
I'm gonna reach forward with my most menacing orcish face that I can do.
I'm gonna give her bardic inspiration on an intimidation.
Okay.
And go, I don't believe that's how that works, sir.
Roll the intimidation. You have bardic inspiration.
Alright, that's a d6, right?
Yes.
Well, I gotta fix my d20.
I'm just picturing Talos trying to pull up like a menacing face that's like a sexy pout.
Oh.
With a wink and a kiss.
Alright, I needed that. 12.
You do that, and he just looks like you realize there is a large tabaxi sitting on your lap.
I'm well aware.
And you're threatening someone?
Who said I was threatening, sir? That's not how it works, and you know it.
No, how it works is 2 glasses for rent, and you get out of my buddy's seat. Or I'm not responsible for what he does when he gets here.
I don't think anyone's responsible for his actions except for himself.
Give me a strength saving throw.
Okay.
At disadvantage, as you feel a tug pulling you back, and with the combined weight, it's...
Do I need to do this too?
Man.
No. You can give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
I rolled the same thing twice, but 9.
Excellent.
Cinco.
You feel kind of your belt get pulled, and you just start tumbling back. You try to kind of pull yourself forward to keep the balance, but you can't. And as you try to reach out for the bar, your arms just run right into Breeze's back.
Oh.
And the 2 of you just go tumbling one on top of the other.
While we're tumbling, Breeze turns. He's a cat. He's trying to land on his feet.
Breeze turns, and he does. He lands on his feet, but it is very much that Talos lands flat, and Breeze kind of lands 4 paws down, like face inch and inch from each other. Inch to inch from each other. And you look up, and you see there is a dwarf with a great big black beard, and he has kind of a darkish skin. And he looks and he says, "Get out of my feet, you 2.
We were just discussing how we were about to vacate this seat, but this man took our drinks.
That's the rental fee.
Oh, rental fee my ass. That's not your chair, and I don't care what you say.
He points and he says, "I'll rental feet the teeth out of your face. Move it."
It looks like someone's already rental feet the teeth out of your face.
Oh!
Cutting word or whatever.
Vicious mockery.
That was a vicious mockery.
All right. He fucking decks you in the face for that.
See, but if he fails the vicious mockery, he has disadvantage.
You're with the healer, don't
That's-
worry. We got this.
Breeze has to go get the surgery.
Fails it.
Takes 1 damage.
Excellent. All
His
right.
pride is stung.
That was such a good comeback, though. You've got some good ones today.
15 against Tracy.
Miss. No, hit.
I was like,
14.
man.
Gosh.
Was that a disadvantage, though?
Oh, yes.
15
He failed the vicious mockery.
or 14.
Ah.
I tried.
He just pulls this massive arm back and he slams you right in the jaw. Mm-hmm. You feel that nice grinding of teeth. That's only going to be 4 points of damage.
That's a lot for a punch.
He is a big buff boy with a very big buff genetic code. As you take this blow, you just kind of roll off top of Talos, and he looks down at you, and he says, "Any other objections?
I still want our drinks back.
You're not getting the drinks back. Beat it."
Hold on. Let me see what I want to do.
Okay. I'm gonna let you handle this.
No, you can keep talking. I'm just gonna do something in a minute.
Hold on, I'm weighing heavily. Cause ruckus in this only place we've been, or
I'm gonna cast heroism on Talos.
I can't be happier. All right, Talos.
Guy is.
Breeze just kind of picks himself up, and he quickly slides his hand over and touches your shoulder, and you are imbued with the bravery of the greatest heroes known.
All right, I'm gonna use half my movement to stand up. I
Okay.
know that doesn't really apply right now.
All right, you stand up, and he's pretty much at your belly.
Mm-hmm.
Just punt him. Just punt him, please.
I'm actually just going to make eye contact as I reach for our drinks back because I don't even care.
Talos, just with eye contact, reaches over and tries to grab them from in front of his buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And you reach over the two of them to grab those.
I climb on Talos.
You climb over Talos?
Yeah.
Like the weak little cat man that you are.
All right. He watches the two of you get your drinks, and he is going to grab your ankles
Okay.
and lift you up and try and drop the two of you to the ground again.
Okay.
So give me an athletics.
21.
He goes to grab your ankles, and you quickly pull your legs away.
Mm-hmm. I just like to imagine stomping the foot back down, like.
And the guy turns around and, Cadet Thyson, enough.
I knew it.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say while he's like trying to grab my ankles, just say like, if you want to shine my shoes, I'll have to charge you rent.
I'm gonna vicious mockery that one too.
He's gonna hit you with this chair, man.
Vicious mockery. Does he pass or fail that one?
He's doing it before you can get that off. That is going to be a 19.
To hit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn.
6 points of damage, and the stool explodes in his hands.
Okay.
And he's going to leap forward to tackle you. And just kind of for no reason, someone at the other end of the bar is just gonna slug the dude next to him. And this sets off a chain of events where it just was... A built tension was suddenly released when someone was willing to do it.
You know what? We're having a bar fight. If we're having a bar fight, I'm gonna use my best move. I'm gonna cast Crown of Madness on someone at random.
Oh my god!
Someone at random.
Okay.
And Breeze just like, chaos!
All right, so the one
You're
who's
neutral, aren't you?
No. Kind of good, but...
The one who punches the other, the bartender goes running down, and you see a couple people from the wall go jumping off because they're kind of like bouncers. So as you see them go over, you see two bouncers. They look like they're on a collision course with this group, and you see the bouncer, and then you just look at him and you point. And
Oh no, not the bouncers.
what is that?
That's a three, my friend.
He fails, and as he goes running forward to break them up, he just spear tackles the other bouncer, and with him on the ground, you can't hear what he's saying, but he just starts punching him on the ground, and like things are getting heinous right now.
All right, while this is happening, can me and Talos do a stealth check and jump over the bar with our drinks?
You will take an attack of opportunity from.
Like he can hop
from the
over
cadet.
the bar.
All right, so the two of you can hop over the bar. The young dwarf is going to try and just grab you.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and roll an acrobatics or athletics.
Okay. That would be 15.
You beat him, but it's close.
Okay.
So when you go to leap over, when he grabs onto you, your pants come off.
Oh, no. I've been naked in one town
What
already.
color are your underwear?
Are you wearing underwear?
Probably.
Excellent. Okay. So the two of you leap over the bar, and there's really no one behind the bar. And you see that there's like an exit to the back if you want it.
Are we over the bar and no one's following us?
Does he take my pants off, or does he just pull them down?
He grabs them, and when you leap, he tries to pull you down, but ends up taking your pants with him.
So they come off entirely?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So he's got your pants.
All right, I'm gonna grab a couple bottles of alcohol and start going towards the exit.
Don't do that. This guy works hard for a living.
Look, I'll leave like 10 gold. That's plenty.
A large shattering. He goes, "I'm gonna come get you."
Come on, we gotta go.
Breathe
I came
out.
here for a drink. We didn't get one.
You're not there. Shush.
I came here for a drink. We didn't get one. I'll pay for it.
Alright.
Come on. Let's go find somewhere quiet.
The two of you go running. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, man, it's kind of cold.
The two of you go running out the back exit. This door feels a bit heavy, but you put your shoulder into it and it opens. The door closes behind you, and as you move, you're in kind of this dark area. The sun is beginning to set now, and it's just beyond the horizon, beginning to drop. And the area you're in now, you can just kind of see out of what looks like a large hangar, and there is a boat that is being built right now, right to the side of you.
Is there anyone in the hangar? Let's go into the hangar.
Cass, in tribute, let's talk about dresses.
Yes.
What are we getting? You can just show everyone your picture of it.
I have to get something nice, because Saywin has box seats. And I'm pretty familiar with elven fashion. I think you said the city that I am from is on like the borders of the elven kingdom.
Right.
So tribute is very at home. Shopping for the kind of elegant elven gowns that there are. She favors something simple over something that's like covered in patterns. So something that's nice but is simple.
What does Cass favor?
Probably something more like almost like business casual in styles of fancy, not like completely.
She's gonna wear
fancy.
a pantsuit.
Or she'll wear a dress, but just like something like a simple like blue shade, probably.
She's going in Hillary
Okay.
The tribute tries to get Cass to try on the fancy dresses. Like the ones that we're not gonna buy, but I wanted to put on.
Cass?
Having flashbacks to my mom.
Do you guys share a dressing room?
Probably not.
I'm just checking.
I guess.
It's not the weirdest thing we've seen.
A small montage of fashion show goes on, walking in and out of the dressing room, that old trope. You find plenty of beautiful dresses, and the two of you finally settle on one. For a nice fancy dress, you're probably looking about 5 gold pieces each.
I can afford that. Barely, but I can afford it.
I'm good. That's good.
And they were like, no thanks.
You try on the dresses, and you see the sun is beginning to set. You know that the show is going to be starting soon, so you run back to the hotel.
Speed bath.
And once again, we find Tribute and Cass bathing together. A quick speed bath. You put on your dresses.
No time for bubbles?
Tribute comes out, and she's gotten just kind of a little bit of jewelry between her horns. Her hair's pulled back, and she's got just some nice, some like nice shining lace in there. And she looks fantastic. Cass, what did you roll?
8.
You did your best.
Yeah.
You're going to the after dark though, don't you see?
Yeah.
You gotta find Kaz. He's the one that's better with this kind of stuff.
I mean, he probably braids her hair.
And we have for the second time a very feminine Cass, which we don't see a lot of.
I'm just pleased with my handiwork. Yes. So me and Cass have gotten ready together, but I'm gonna kind of like Okay, I have to meet someone at the theater, so I'll see you after, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Good luck. If anyone looks at you funny, punch them in the nose.
Okay, I can do that. That I can do.
Alright, so you have to meet at the apartment.
Yes.
Where you're at right now.
Is it really the same place?
Yeah, it's the same place.
That's hilarious. Hurry to the lobby. If no one's in the lobby, I'll head to the outside the front doors.
When you get out to the lobby, you see a semi-familiar face. Tyler, the pretend high elf.
I was hoping it would be Lorenzo.
No. Tyler is...
Then you could, give him your room number, tell him to go on down.
Tyler is standing there. You can see that he's just wearing, like, really nice slacks. Just kind of like an undershirt and suspenders, but the suspenders are kind of hanging off to the side. You see that he's put on, like, a nice amount of makeup, like a very colorful makeup, but it's unfinished.
Oh no.
And he's standing in the lobby, and his arms are crossed, and he looks very upset.
I'm going to pretend like I haven't noticed him and stolen his seat for the play. And I'm going to see if I can find Saywin. Sure, since I'm going to pretend that I haven't seen Tyler, I'm going to continue to pretend like I haven't seen him. And I'm going to ask the guy at the front desk if he's seen anyone matching Saywin's description.
The gentleman looks to you and he says, "Yeah, I've seen her. Rented one of the apartments on the first floor here. You a friend?"
Yes.
Okay. And he just kind of like looks through his book and he kind of points it down the opposite direction of your room, kind of the other side of the building. She also got one of the queen bee rooms. A lot less people, but she got one. Very last room at the end of the hall. And he kind of leans in and goes, "I checked her in. She's a real bee, let me tell you."
Give him a look like I don't appreciate him talking about her like that.
Yeah.
But she hasn't come through here this evening yet.
No, she did. Earlier afternoon when I started my shift. She came in. She hasn't come back through, though.
I don't know, part of me feels like it's rude to go and knock on her door.
Ma'am, I'm a simple tenant, dressed like a bumblebee. Any sense of honor or pride has left my body. And I think you should just go do that.
I'm gonna insight check this bee man.
Give it a roll.
Damn. That's 22.
When you look into his eyes, they're empty.
He's dead inside.
He's just dead inside.
I don't know if that makes his advice trustworthy or not.
What you can determine is he has no ulterior motives. What he wants is you to leave the desk.
You know, fair.
Yeah.
His single ulterior motive.
You look down at this piece of paper, and you see it's just lined with checks and little scratches across them. It's written somewhere in the hundreds.
I'm filled with a deep fear that I don't quite understand. And I guess I'm gonna go. Because fuck it.
You go down.
I don't want to talk to Tyler, that's all I know.
He's half dressed up.
You get down to the end of the hall. You knock on the door. The door is opened, and you recognize the same woman who did your hair.
Oh, that bitch.
What are you doing here?
Is Saywin still here? I was supposed to meet her for the evening.
Yes, she's in the queen room.
I kind of expected her to go tell her that I was here.
Yeah.
No. When you walk in, it looks to be kind of the mirror side of the apartment you're in, and you see where the large door that was the queen room is closed.
This is kind of like a living room area. I think I'm going to wait, because if she's getting ready, I don't want to rush her.
Okay. As you sit, you hear that soft, tinny music that you've heard a couple times inside of the rocking ship before. You can't really tell the source of it.
Dang, I was going to ask.
You just visually can't tell the source.
I was going to see if since it was like in a new environment, I could spot the music box or whatever it might be.
Give a perception check.
I was hoping you'd be like invisible bards. Natural 20.
Natural 20. As you go looking around, you see over in the kitchen area, there's a large wooden box, and coming off the top of it, there looks like there's kind of a horn. It looks like it's...
Oh, I see.
And that's where the music's coming from.
Have I ever seen one of those before?
You've never seen one of these before.
I'll watch it for a little bit.
Okay.
Stick your head in it.
No, I'm trying to look nice.
A little bit of time comes by, and the door eventually opens, and Saywin walks out. Her hair is pulled up in kind of in a similar fashion to your own, but she's just wearing a corset that comes down to a longer flowing dress. It's a lot of green with gold accents and lace around the front. She's wearing gloves that kind of come up to her elbows. She's wearing what is kind of more commonly a human style of dress. She looks over to you and she says, "It looks like you're able to find somewhere else that has a bath. Are you ready?"
Yes.
She opens the door and walks out ahead.
I will follow.
Get down to the end of the hall. Tyler is standing there, fuming, angry now. He says, "Tyler, go back to the room." He just, and starts to walk out. It's dark now. Natural gas torches are just lit across the streets. And as she goes walking through, the two of you together, she says, "So, what have you been doing since you left Bayside Wharf?"
It feels like more things than should have happened in what short a period of time it was.
Life's funny that way sometimes.
Not sure if funny is the word I would use.
I would. When you've seen enough of it, it is very funny. I've sensed that Traquius has released his grip from the island. I would be free to leave.
He trapped you here as well?
He wouldn't let me leave. So yes, he did. I believe part of him thought I should go and take down the castle or whatever was in it. But I do not adhere to the words of the water folk. The simple folk they are.
I'm glad Adela's not here. Who do you listen to then?
No one. I previously followed the Forge King, but I left that domain. I follow my own path now.
Respectable.
You think?
Yes. It might seem a little strange since, as a paladin, I've devoted myself to service, but I think following your own whims and your own freedom is a good thing.
Then why don't you do it? What does Tyr have to offer you?
Purpose, I suppose.
Do you think I don't have purpose?
No, I just... Without him, I couldn't find it.
You believe that?
I didn't find it until I was at the temple.
Perhaps you didn't find purpose, you were given purpose, which means perhaps your purpose is still out there. The gods are wily, tricky about that. Assigned purpose, loyal soldiers, things like that. At least the Forge King had the nerve to create his soldiers. But perhaps this is a bit dark. We are going to see a play. Are you familiar with...
Theater. In a sense, yes. I lived with a performers guild for a time. All kinds of things were going on there. I saw their rehearsals more often than the finished product.
That must have been very interesting, seeing something built up from nothing.
It was very enjoyable, those times.
And those times are gone.
Yes.
For purpose.
The purpose didn't drive me from those halls. It picked me up when I left.
What helps a person get through their lives in peace, I suppose, matters the most. Do you know what this play is? Burning Passion, it sounds bad.
I have the novel. It's also bad.
Excellent. There should be humor then.
I'm not quite sure how humorous it will be.
I suppose we'll see. And as you approach this theater, what are we calling the theater?
Paylor Temple and Theater.
As you approach, these doors swing open and you see there's a great crowd of people. Cass, you had been there about 10 minutes before, and you're kind of standing in the crowd now. But what you have noted the most, and the strangest. There's an old gnomish man. And the most peculiar thing, he has a wagon. And he's pulling this wagon around. And inside there seems to be an old, nearly decrepit, but still alive hyena. He's pulling it around, and he appears to stop, walk to the side of it, talk to it, point, and then continue walking. He does this quite a few times as he walks around the theater. You actually see him pull out a bag of gold, open it, show it to the hyena, talk, and then close it, and then kind of point and still walk around. A couple people kind of lean over to pet it, and he shoos them away, but she just kind of leans into it more, and he gives in. It is a most peculiar sight. Would you like to engage with this gentleman? I will have you know when he looks very stressed.
I guess I'll go up and just be like, is everything okay, sir?
He says, yes, everything is fine. It is a booming night, a very profitable night with an award-winning, probably, play. It'll be a fantastic show. You're going to enjoy it very much.
Okay.
And he looks back and he goes, she's very excited to see. She's very excited to see the play. The hyena just kind of like cataracts in its eyes. It can't see, but it's just
It wants a little laugh.
the best it can muster.
Well, I guess I should find my seat then.
Yes, he says, don't want to miss. He drags the hyena along.
Hope so, please.
You look around and you cannot find Kaz. The show begins to start and he never shows up.
That's concerning.
That is concerning.
He's with the masturbators.
Let's say, or he got caught up in that bar fight y'all started.
Do you still go into the show?
Am I like for sure like he's not there?
The doors are closing.
Good big sister, pervert in a theater alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look for him.
Okay. All right.
You chose unwise.
You walk out. You go back into the dark city with a little bit of lights around the end. As you walk out, you see the tower in the center. At the very top of the tower where you haven't seen much, a light pops on. It just starts to kind of sway back and forth. Inside, Tribute, you and Saywin are walking around, and someone in a nice little red outfit says, you ladies must be making use of the balcony seats. Right this way. And as you go walking up, Saywin just kind of walks next to you. And she just kind of, like, very nonchalantly reaches over and grabs your hand.
Yay! I have two moods.
It's very much, she takes her hand and then just kind of grabs the back of your hand.
Slightly alarming, but I will allow it.
Same with the top.
You go walking up to the balcony, and you are led into this very private, it's much higher than everyone else, and the lights against the walls don't appear that it looks like you could even be seen up here. So there's an immense amount of privacy. And as you get into yours, but there are 4 seats. Saywin sits in the front. There's a seat next to it, and then 2 seats directly behind.
For a minute, my brain was like, what if I sit behind her? But I'm going to take the obvious choice and sit next to her.
When you sit down and you start getting comfortable, you see that she reaches down to the floor and she starts pulling her dress up.
I'm going to avert my eye.
And she pulls out a small decanter
From her
that
leg.
was holstered to her leg.
Saywin is the dopest.
And she lights the inside, and she just kind of blows it out with her hand. And that smell, that familiar smell from their first time in the rocking ship, begins to wave out. And you can kind of see a little of that smoke go across and begin to fall down into the crowd. It has been a few days since I have fed on the passion of these people. And I figure a great gathering of people in a play would be my best spot for it. Let's enjoy together. The lights go down, and the curtains open.
Oh, man.
Who wants to play the hero?
Oh my god. You did
Who
not.
wants to play the hero?
You did not.
It's got to be someone.
You should roll for it.
Flip a coin.
Yeah.
Your two-sided die.
Yeah. For my one-sided die. Evens, odds.
Oh, great. It's like the time everyone made me play Romeo because I was young and awkward.
Who wants to play the heroine?
Roll for it.
All right.
No!
I wrote small motivations next to your lines.
Oh, this is so perfect.
Evens, odds.
Okay. What's the other roll?
The villain.
Yeah!
Oh, God.
Let me pull up my copy.
My acting class is finally coming in handy.
Did you think it would be here? Did you think it would be here? You unlocked that potential.
This is literally flashback to everyone in high school being forced to read Romeo and Juliet awkwardly in class.
All right, you guys ready?
Wait.
No.
I need to take my phone.
So the curtains part. Illustrious garden in the center stage. A young human woman. Thea sits draped over the rail of a patio, admiring the flowers. Beside her, her tall and incredibly attractive husband, Tempest, stands. Their clothes speak of effortless nobility.
Do you like them, my dear?
Oh, darling, they are ever so wonderful. I didn't think there were so many kinds of flowers in the world, let alone what is here.
Tempest moves to caress Thea's shoulder and pull her into a tender embrace.
For you, my darling, I would move the sun and the stars from their place in the heavens to rest in this garden. So what is a little import of exotic flowers from my most beloved in comparison to that?
Oh, my sweet Tempest, you worked so hard for my sake. What did I ever do to deserve such a loving and perfect husband such as you?
From stage right enters the tiefling gardener, Aurea. Though her trade is a craftsman, her uniform could surely be found in ye olde spirit of Halloween under the label slutty landscaper. She listens to the conversation with a sly smile on her face.
Dearest Thea, you need do nothing to deserve the fruits of my love and labor. Your returned love to me is all that I will ever require.
Tempest gives his wife a swift kiss and exit stage left. Thea is left alone in the garden with Aurea, yet unseen.
Why, my lady, you give the man too much credit.
What? Who goes there? You, gardener, eavesdropping on our conversation?
You cannot fault the gardener for gardening when you choose to speak in her place of work. My lady, I simply happened to overhear. I never dropped any eaves, by my word.
Then out with it. What do you mean? Speak of my husband in such a way with your tarnished words.
Tarnished words? Me? Never to you, my lady. I simply was stating that it's rather unfair to give credit of all this lovely garden to the man who has nothing to do with its upkeep. Don't you think?
This garden is the product of my beloved. I do not know what you are talking about.
Oh, his money and his words, yes. But while those things can bring the seeds in the soil, you see, it takes a lot of tender time and care to bring the flowers to life. For that, you can look no further than to yours truly.
I suppose I had never thought of it that way. You put a lot of work into maintaining this, yes?
Oh, yes. I spent almost all of my time in this garden making sure that the trees and the flowers grow bright and beautiful. Yet despite all of my devotion to them, I have never managed to coax one of them to bloom in as lovely a likeness as the garden centerpiece.
Centerpiece? Where is such a thing? I've never seen it.
But surely you have, my lady. Your dressing room has a mirror, does it not? The crowning jewel of this garden is not any of the plants within, but rather the garden's most charming visitor.
By this time, Aurea has crept her way to the patio railing, her honeyed words having completely enthralled the Lady Thea.
Oh my! Do you mean to say you've been watching me this whole time?
Why? Anyone who says they haven't watched your steps must have no eyes. I myself have an eye for the appraisal of flowers, and by far you are the most spectacular I have seen. I am sure that if you too received the same kind of special care I've given the blossoms here, you too could bloom spectacularly.
Bloom? I don't know what you're talking about.
Having only been amongst weeds, how could you? Let me show you.
The two embrace across the rail, lips entwined. This starts off a love affair throughout this entire play. That is, every part's kind of suspense. Will they, won't they get caught? The story of two secret lovers who try to squirrel themselves away as this tiefling does everything in her power to convince the lady that her husband is not worth her time. As you're watching this, you go, oh, okay, then the scene ends. And it gets very undressed.
Where it would fade to black, it doesn't.
It doesn't. The entry of the Thraw household. Tempest enters. He drags the gardener by her hair. The destitute Aurea. Soft percussions hint to the sound of softly falling rain just outside the doors. From offstage, Thea's wails can be heard.
Wench! Harlot! Snake that I have harbored too long in my garden! You bring disgrace on me and my house!
Please, Lord, I have done no such thing. I have only sought to serve you and the lady of the house.
Do not speak of my wife to me! My wife! Not after what you have said and done! Begone from these halls, enchantress!
Tempest casts Aurea out of the doors onto the road outside. She lies for a moment, unmoving, as he slams the door of the estate. But soon enough, her laughter fills the stage.
Foolish man, you think this will all be over when you throw me out? I will personally see it that is not so. A curse, a plague on your house, and all who live in it. On you and your servants and your silly besotted wife.
Aurea exits. Coming on stage now are actors dressed in orange, waving banners above their head that depicts a terrible amount of flames. The wailing of Thea comes from sadness to screams of pain and terror. The whole stage fades to black, and the last remaining image of this play is of the merchant Tempest kneeling in front of a grave, crying. And thus closes the stage. The curtains close, and there is a silence. There are sounds of weeping from the general seating below. A roar of clapping comes up. People are standing and cheering and crying over this story. Seiwen is just... she's leaned forward. Tribute may have been able to tell that from a part somewhere in the middle, it had garnered her attention. And she had been very interested in this play. When it ends, she just kind of leans back. There's an expression on her face that perhaps she doesn't understand yet. What did Tribute think? Was the book better?
Tribute was actually taking the play very seriously the whole time. She kind of had her hands were like on the armrest of her seat, and her knuckles were white the whole time. She was gripping them so intently. And when the play came to a close, her eyes were kind of wet.
Oh. Yay.
Seiwen looks over, and she just kind of reaches over and just kind of wipes the tear off of your face.
Tribute kind of like starts, because she was wrapped up in the closing of the play. She almost forgot that there were other people here.
She takes the decanter and kind of hikes the dress back up and puts it back, and she says, It's the decanter. The play wasn't that good. It's there to make you feel that way. That's why I have it.
Right. The play is full of inaccuracies.
Book is better, I suppose.
The book is trash as well.
Then I suppose they didn't improve on it. She stands up and she walks over the curtain and she holds it for you.
I'm gonna kind of compose myself and get up to follow.
She lets you go through first. And as you begin to descend the stairs, as you go walking down, roll an insight check.
Natural 20, my friend.
Oh!
And a 4 on the proficiency dice. So that's like maximum insight.
Damn. You notice that as you go walking down, Seiwen is standing much closer to you, and there's much more of an openness to her.
Tribute is actually more tense now than she was when they entered the playhouse.
As you go walking out, you see that a lot of things have been moved. And in place of what would be posters, there is a massive shelf selling this book.
Is it all this book?
Yes.
Okay.
And you look over and you see a gnome just very happily rubbing his palms together with a hyena asleep on a cart.
What? Not the weirdest thing I've seen on this island, so I'm gonna let it slide.
Saywen grabs one of the books and walk out. She stands out. She says, "Where are you staying?"
Conveniently, the same building as you.
That is convenient. And she begins to walk.
Don't give me that look.
I mean, there are the queen suites in the room.
You were moved enough to pick up a copy?
I think comparison is good. I think experiencing these things in perhaps the ways they were intended.
I don't think I know what the author meant when he wrote this.
I'm certain I know what he meant. He meant to express his desires. I forgot about that. Desires.
Even though you need them?
Yes, but do you think about the life of food?
Sometimes.
Those must be interesting thoughts.
It's a little strange to consider someone telling you that fish is a friend. Not a food.
That is very strange. You arrive back at the hotel, and the two of you stand. Your room's to the right, hers to the left.
I suppose this is where we part for the evening.
So it would appear.
Get out of here, Talos. You're not even here. How long are you going to be in town?
Until the Jade Council returns and I can try and force through my application to get into the city's docks.
Funnily enough, we're waiting for their return as well.
Then perhaps we'll see more of each other.
Well, simply being down the hall, I would think so.
Perhaps.
I look forward to it.
As do I. She turns and walks away.
Yeah. The correct line was, I look forward to seeing more of you.
No, the correct line is, I look forward to seeing all of you.
Well,
We're
you
in the
guys
room right now.
You guys can practice that in your abandoned ship.
With no pants.
Trying to get plastered.
Plastered, no pants.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you have any questions or want to talk about your favorite part of the campaign so far, you can find us on Twitter at QuipsnCrits or at QuipsnCrits on Facebook. And make sure you rate and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to. But check out our Tumblr or Reddit for character profiles, maps, essays, and just a bunch of other shit from the... Ooh, I swore. And a bunch of other stuff from the cast. Today's music is brought to you by Leon Lischner and friends, and Dennis Murphy's Polka. Links in description.
Down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside.